Hello and welcome to our Pearson Airport Explorers Camp. Today is kind of a sad day. It's the last one of our winter spring camps, and we're gonna take a month off. But today, what we're going to do is we are going to look at airports around the world. So for those of you who are first timers to the Airport Explorers Club, welcome. And I know we have a few new people joining us today. I think that we've got Cynthia and Ralph and Salza, and we've got our regulars like, Gail and Russ, and Kathy's on vacation, but I'm sure she's listening in. But those of you who want to become an official airport explorer, you can become a member by joining, going into our website and joining online. And we'll put our website up in a second. But as an official Airport Explorer member, we'll provide you with more fun activities and insider information. So be sure to sign up. So, as I said, we won't be running a camp in June, but we'll be starting up again in July. And all that information, the dates and the time, will be posted on the website, so you can check it out there. But before we move around to our presentation that looks at airports around the world, I want to introduce myself and say hi to a couple of my friends. So my name's Catherine. I'm the one on the top left, and I'll be your host today. And I'm the manager of community outreach, which means I have the best job at the airport. I get to go out and I get to meet people and talk about all the great things that we do at the airport. And how about you, Ruba? You want to introduce yourself to our explorers?
Of course. Thank you, Catherine. Explorers, my name is Ruba Al-Nazir. I manage what we call the Community Investment Program at the GTAA. I'm the person on the top right-hand corner of your screen. What I do basically, I get to work with incredible community organizations that are always working tirelessly to support the community surrounding the airport, especially when it comes to the efforts to finding people good and meaningful jobs. So we always talk about who has the better job at the airport. Catherine is completely convinced that it's hers, but no, that's mine. But also I would like to introduce you to our other friend, Hies, who will probably tell you he has the best job. So over to you, Hies.
Good afternoon, explorers. So like Ruba said, my name is Hies van Atem. I'm a senior officer in noise management at Pearson. So really in a nutshell, what my role entails is that we work together with all our wonderful partners at Pearson to make sure that the flight operations are as quiet as possible for our neighbors around the airport, and our neighbors around the airport, that they have all their questions answered as well. I'll just let Catherine and Ruba bicker between the two of them of who has the best job, but we all know who it is, Airport Explorers. I think it's that little guy in that blue airplane just to the right of me who has the best job.
Yeah, no, I think he does too. I would love to be flying around. And we want to give a special shout out to Kathy. We miss you, and we hope you're having a great vacation. So I am going to now try and move this slide. I'm going to put up this slide for a little bit here. So this is where you can get some information on our website and where to send in your work. We'll put it up a little bit later again, so you can write this idea. But Ruba, can you tell our explorers why it's a good idea for them to send in their assignments to us?
I sure can. Well, Airport Explorers, everyone should send us their work, because by sending us your work to traffic control at airportexplorer.club, your name will be put into a draw to win some cool prizes, such as an Airport Explorer club hat, a t-shirt, or a jigsaw puzzle. So if you have joined us for all of our 4 camps and you sent in all of the activities, your name will be put in a draw for a chance to win a drumroll, Catherine. If you've sent in all the activities, your name will be put in a draw for a chance to win a Chromebook. Yes.
Did you say a Chromebook?
I did. I actually did say a Chromebook. So Airport Explorers, the draw for the Chromebook will be on Friday, July 9th, and we will be emailing the lucky winner of the Chromebook shortly after that. Now, if I hadn't said Chromebook enough, I'm going to say it one more time. You get a chance to win a Chromebook. So make sure you send in all those assignments. We will also be contacting all the winners of hats, t-shirts, and jigsaw puzzles. So make sure to remember to send in your work. Now, Catherine, could you review for explorers each of the activities that we've done over the past camps so they can make sure that they completed all of them?
Absolutely, that's a great idea. So in January, we did a camp called History of Airports and Toronto Pearson, and we asked our explorers to do an activity where they made a tin can telephone. And then in February, we had we did Welcome to Canada, and we asked our explorers if they were going to another country, what would they bring? And in our March camp, we did the history of flying, so our explorers got to make a kite. And last month we did I remember Hayes and I took that magic bike and we went all over the place. And we looked at all the places that you could go to around Toronto Pearson, and we asked our explorers to plan the best visit ever. So I know we have another cool assignment at the end of today's camp. So send us all 5 of those activities and you could win that Chromebook. Hayes, which of the activities did you like the most?
That's a hard choice though, Catherine. You know I really like to build stuff, so definitely the kite and the tin can telephone were some of my favorites, but I absolutely cannot wait until we're allowed to travel again internationally. And my friends and family from Belgium, obviously, so they can come visit Toronto, so I can make a great itinerary for them and really make sure that they can see all the cool stuff that Toronto has to offer.
Cool. And Hayes, can you tell our new explorers what they can find on our website?
I sure can, Catherine. So there's a lot of cool things on our website, which is airportexplorer.club, to really keep you busy until our next camp. We have a lot of mazes and games that you can play. There's instructions to help you build your own plane or even that cool kite. And we have some great interviews in our airtime section with a pilot, even an astronaut, and a few of the amazing people who work at Toronto Pearson. So really be sure to check that out. Our previous camps were all recorded like we're doing today, so be sure to check those out online, and don't forget to tell all of your friends and family that they can watch all of our camps as well.
Cool, thanks Hayes. That's really important information. So before Hayes and I start looking at some of the airports around the world, I'm going to give you a little idea, some idea how we're going to roll out this camp. So we're going to look at a presentation and make sure you pay attention to some of the extra inside information Hayes and I will give you, because we're going to play a little trivia later on and test your recall. And then after the trivia game, we're going to answer some of the questions that came into us by our airport explorers after the last camp. Now, unfortunately, we can't answer all the questions that you'll send us today in the chat box, but we promise to answer them in our upcoming camp in July, along with any of the questions that you send when you send in your assignments to our email address. So, and then Ruba's going to end our time together with an activity to, get our explorers thinking about how they could design their own dream airport. So, Hayes, are you ready to go?
I am, Catherine. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's have a look at airports around the world. That's what the presentation today is called. And let's have a look at some of the cool airports that we can find all around the world. So we'll jump on that magic bicycle, Catherine. We'll pedal extra hard. Let's see where we can get.
Oh, if we pedal extra hard, maybe we can fly.
So we'll have a look at some of those airports, and there's a lot of ways to measure how big airports are, like how much surface area they have or how many airplanes take off and land. But we're specifically looking at how many people pass through all of those airports as, of course, passengers. And according to the Airports Council International, over 850 million people passed through these 10 airports in 2019. So, Catherine, are you excited to see which 10 we're talking about?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Let's do it.
Let's go, and I'll be quizzing you along the way a little bit too, so definitely stay on your feet.
Oh,
so
I'll pay attention.
First one, on number 10, we have Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, France. The airport code is CDG, or Charlie Delta Golf, and its passenger count in 2019 was 76,150,007 passengers. So that's a lot of people. And Catherine, did you know an Iranian refugee named Mehran Karimi Nasseri actually lived in the departure lounge of Terminal 1 of this airport from August 1988 to July 2006. So that's quite a couple of years. And his story actually inspired the 2004 movie The Terminal, which starred Tom Hanks.
And you know what? I knew that. And you know why I knew that?
How did you know that?
Because I saw the movie.
Oh, it was a pretty good movie, though. I did really enjoy it.
It was a good movie.
But there's more to know about CDG Airport than just the movie The Terminal was based on, the story there. So France's airport is actually named after the famous French army officer and statesman Charles de Gaulle, and he opened and the airport actually opened in 1974 with just one terminal. But there's something special about that terminal. If you look at it at the bottom, it was actually built in the image of an octopus. So that's a pretty cool fun fact there. And today, Charles de Gaulle Airport has 3 terminals. It's also one of the busiest airports in Europe, and of course, the main hub for Air France. And a cool tip for our explorers is that Charles de Gaulle Airport is also known as Roissy Airport. And the airport is located at Roissy en France, 23 kilometers northeast of Paris. Do you see the octopus in the picture there, Catherine?
I do. I like the octopus beside it, though. He's kind of having a good time there. I've been to Charles de Gaulle Airport. It's a nice airport.
Yeah, the octopus looks like he's having a better time than Charles de Gaulle on the right there, but let's move on. On number 9, we have Shanghai Pudong International Airport. And that airport code is PBG. And Catherine, how do we say that in our phonetic alphabet?
Oh, no. Papa. Oh my gosh, I just had I know Papa, and I know the G is golf, but I can't. Victor,
I hope our airport explorers are better. They're doing better than you, Catherine. So I think, Catherine, you'll have to go back to one of our previous camps and really revisit that aviation alphabet. So that's Papa Victor Golf.
Victor, I knew it.
And the amount of passengers in 2019 was 39.05 million passengers. And Shanghai Pudong Airport is only 20 years old, so it's actually younger than I am. And it was finished in October of 1999.
Yeah, I like this airport.
It's pretty neat, all these different terminal designs. So this one actually has something to do with seagulls. So as one of the busiest airports in China, the Shanghai Pudong Airport has 4 runways and 2 terminals. And the exterior of Terminal 1 is very unusual. It's actually shaped like a seagull. So you can see that cool wave on the roof there of the terminal building. And some other cool facts include that it has 162 boarding bridges and 28 gates. So that's quite a lot. 13 of those gates are actually double-decker gates to accommodate the very large airplanes like the Airbus 380. And Catherine, we actually have one of those gates as well at Pearson, where, for instance, when the Emirates A380 comes to Pearson, where they can both board and 2 levels at the same time. So that's pretty cool to see, and it makes it a lot more efficient to get people in and out of that big plane. Now, Shanghai Pudong Airport is also, of course, the home of China Eastern Airlines, which we sometimes see at Pearson as well.
No, that's cool. I love this. I love this design, and I hope our explorers are paying extra attention because, yeah, they might get some ideas for their own airport.
Well, and we, of course, want everyone to do very well in the trivia later.
Oh, yes.
Now, on number 8, we have another Asian airport, which is Hong Kong International Airport. And its airport code is HKG, or Hotel Kilo Golf. And they had 71.5 million passengers in 2019. But did you know that Hong Kong International Airport is actually built on land that used to be under the ocean? So that's pretty cool. And when it was built, it added 1% to the total surface area of Hong Kong. So it's pretty cool that I think they man-made and they raised the ground, so to speak, and actually artificially made Hong Kong a little bit bigger to accommodate for that big airport.
That's a big job. That's a really big job to do that.
That definitely sounds like it would have been a huge job. Now, we've got some more fun facts here for our explorers. So Hong Kong Airport is pretty new. It only opened up in 1998. And former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, was actually the first foreign visitor to arrive at the airport when it was first built. It has 2 runways, over 220 stores, and 60 restaurants. So I bet there's a lot of great food there, Catherine. And I don't know if they do have a P-meal sandwich there. I think we'll have to check that out. And the airport is 12.5 square kilometers. And that's about the size of 1,751 soccer fields. So definitely really big. But a really cool thing is that it also has a golf course located just outside of Terminal 2. So I don't know if I do very well there, Catherine, because I'd just be too distracted looking at all the planes instead of my golf ball.
Yeah, no, that would be distracting. That would be distracting. And you can see why the airport would be on the Discovery Channel, right?
Yeah, so the airport was actually featured on the Discovery Channel's show 10 Greatest Modern Projects of the World because of its really advanced system of highways and railways that connects it to Hong Kong.
Yeah, and look at that cool, if you look at that picture, I love the picture of that old-fashioned airplane in the terminal. It's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of brings me back to one of our previous camps, Catherine, when we talked about the Wright brothers.
Yep, the history of flying.
On number 7, we have London Heathrow Airport. Its airport's code is LHR, or Catherine?
Oh my goodness. Lima Hotel Romeo.
Perfect. And they had over 80.9 million passengers in 2018. And did you know that hidden somewhere behind a secret door in Terminal 5 is the Windsor Suite? And the Windsor Suite is a private lounge specifically reserved only for members of the royal family, like the Queen.
How fancy.
I think they've got some great tea back there too.
I was going to say they probably have tea and chocolate biscuits and things like that.
Now, it gets a little bit more spooky than just tea and biscuits, because Heathrow Airport in London, it's actually England's major international airport. It's only got 2 runways, but it moves a lot of planes and passengers. It's got 4 passenger terminals labeled Terminal 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they've kind of got a similar situation going on like we do at Pearson, right, Catherine? Where if you're looking for Terminal 2 at Pearson, you're probably at the wrong spot. Just like it at Heathrow, if you're looking for Terminal 1, you won't find it anymore. It actually closed in 2015, and Heathrow also has a terminal solely for cargo flights. Now, I said it's going to get a little spooky because Heathrow has a ghost train station under Terminal 5 that was actually built for future train service. And the space can hold about 33 London buses. And speaking about buses, Catherine, Heathrow's control tower is really big. It's 87 meters high, which is the size of about 20 double-decker buses stacked on top of each other. But Catherine, I'm fairly sure that the CN tower we talked about last camp is still a lot taller, even though I don't really know how stacked giraffes compare to stacked double-decker buses.
I think, yeah, that would be kind of hard to compare. I was a little scared there for a second because when you said ghost train station, I thought it was where all the ghosts came on the trains. So, but it's not. It just means that there's nothing in there just yet. So
no, they just planned ahead a little bit, right?
Cool. That ghost is having fun though.
On number 6, we have a little closer to home, O'Hare International Airport in Chicago in the United States. Their airport code is ORD, or October Romeo Delta. And they saw about 84,372,618 passengers in 2019. That's quite a mouthful. And O'Hare International Airport is actually the largest seller of hot dogs in the United States. That's a bit of a fun fact because that's not something you would put together per se. They actually sold 725,000 hot dogs at the airport each year.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
That's a lot of wieners.
Yeah, that I would say. At least, but it's not 84 million hot dogs. It's only 725,000. So
yeah,
not everyone's
a lot
eating
of hot dogs.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of other stuff to do at O'Hare than just eating hot dogs. There's really cool things at the airport and specifically in the terminals. So there's 4 terminals. You'll actually find a yoga room where you can go for a little stretch before or between your flights. And there's an interactive kids on the fly play area and a world-class public arts exhibit. So some really cool stuff in there, and that play zone looks really neat with those airplanes there. And even if you're stranded at O'Hare overnight, there's a secured area where you can actually sleep, and you're provided with everything you might need, from a comfortable bed to cots, pillows, blankets, and other toiletries.
I really like that play area. It looks like a lot of fun there.
It definitely does, yeah. We are halfway there, Catherine. So on number 5 is Tokyo Haneda Airport. And that airport code is HND, or Hotel November Delta. And they actually saw over 85,500,000 passengers in 2019. And the really cool thing about this airport is that it's got its own food street, which is called the Edo Koji, where you will find 21 restaurants serving all kinds of really cool Japanese food. You can also head to the global Wi-Fi counter to rent a RoboHon, and everyone's probably wondering, what is a RoboHon? It's actually a mini robot that's wearing a pilot's uniform, and it can actually translate for you because it speaks Japanese, Mandarin, and English.
That's cool. Is it like a little tour guide for you?
I think we have a little picture of that coming up later. There it is. Doesn't it?
There he is.
It looks pretty cute.
Man, that's cute.
And Tokyo's airport is actually the 3rd busiest airport in Asia. It's also the 4th busiest airport in the world, next to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in the United States. Tokyo has 3 terminals and 4 runways, and Terminal 1 is called Big Bird, not to be confused with the Big Bird on Sesame Street. And it has 6 levels and a really cool observation deck.
Yeah, I like the look of that building. It looks like a bunch of coins almost that are stacked on top of each other, but it's so beautiful inside. I haven't been to that airport. I would love to go there.
I would love to go there too. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Russ has been there, because Russ has done a lot of traveling, right?
Russ has been everywhere.
Now, on number 4, we have Los Angeles International Airport, which is another really cool looking building there. Their airport code is a little easier to remember. It's LAX, or Lima Alpha X-ray. And they saw over 88 million passengers in 2019. And this building that you see right here was actually created to look like a flying saucer. It's got an observation deck that's located on the roof of the LAX airport.
That is an incredibly interesting looking building. It does look like a big flying saucer.
Yeah, it's quite cool looking. Now, of course, when we talk about Los Angeles Airport, we're talking about La La Land and Hollywood, but LAX actually handles a lot of cargo. The airport has 2 million square feet of cargo facility to handle all of that, and that's about the size of 148 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So that's
wow.
Really. And if you're nervous about flying, or you just need a little cuddle, you can pet one of the many therapy dogs that are part of the airport's welcome team. So that's really nice too if you're into dogs. And you can even check out LAX's information kiosks that are shaped like giant cell phones. You can even take a selfie there and send or email it to your friends. Now, Catherine, a program with dogs, that rings a bell for me. Does it for you?
Yeah, we have at Toronto Pearson, we also have our dog program, the St. John Ambulance Dogs, and they're just as cute and cuddly. And yeah, next time you're traveling and you're through Toronto Pearson, look for them, and you can play with them while you wait for your flight.
Definitely. And since we're in LA here, Catherine, a lot of movies and TV shows are actually filmed at LAX because it is LA after all.
Absolutely. Ooh. Wow.
We're in the illustrious top 3, Catherine, and coming in on number 3 is Dubai International Airport. Now, Dubai's airport code is DXB, or Delta X-Ray Bravo, and they had 86,396,000 passengers in 2019. So we're getting really up there with the amount of passengers. And did you know that the airport actually has a really, really cool amenities, like an outdoor swimming pool, a gym, some really cool gardens, and it's got the world's largest duty-free store, a 5-star hotel, and the fastest Wi-Fi in the world. And they've got a really punny name for that, Catherine. They call it Wow-Fi.
Wow, that's cool. I also heard that it had a skating rink too inside there and a ski hill. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, some really, really cool stuff, but it does sound very expensive to go there though. Now, let's have a closer look at some of those cool features that Dubai Airport has. So along with that swimming pool, a hotel, a gym, a theater, restaurants, and of course a conference hall, if you want to chill out a little bit during your time at the airport, there's a Zen garden with some lush trees, even a fish pond, and tons of benches to sit on, of course. And if you're staying overnight or you need a little nap, you can actually grab yourself what they call a snooze cube. So we see a picture there on the top right. And it's kind of a pod, but it's got that really, really fast Wi-Fi inside, a touchscreen TV, and of course, somewhere to hang all your stuff. And do you think those windows in there are real, Catherine?
No, I don't think so, but it makes it seem like you're in a little room overlooking the Mediterranean or something. It's amazing. Cool.
Right.
Oh, look at this one.
This one's a really cool looking one too, eh?
Beautiful.
Beijing Capital International Airport. So their airport code is Papa Echo Kilo, or PEK, and they actually had over 100 million passengers in 2019, so that's a big jump. The airport is nicknamed Starfish for its really distinctive shape, and it was designed to match traditional Chinese architecture. So it features some really cool stuff. The terminal is actually the size of 97 soccer fields, and they even have one that's designed in the shape of a Chinese dragon.
Wow.
Now, if you're seeing red, that means you're lucky in China. And Beijing's airport actually has 3 runways and 3 terminals. The roof of Terminal 3 is red, so that's definitely the lucky terminal to be in, because red is the Chinese color for good luck. And there's many traditional Chinese elements that are used to decorate Beijing's terminal. These include a menhai, a big copper vat used to store water for fighting fires in the Forbidden City, and actually carvings imitating the famous 9 Dragon Wall. And its indoor gardens in Terminal 3E, their waiting area is designed like the Imperial Gardens. So some really cool stuff. And I think, Catherine, for the explorers that might not know, the Forbidden City and the Imperial Gardens were all stuff in the capital where the old Chinese emperors lived, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful airport.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. And Beijing actually hosted the Olympics in 2008. So they definitely need a lot of big airports to handle all of the people who want to come see the Olympics. Now, on number 1, Airport Explorers, when we're talking about passenger volume, of course, is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. They've got an easy to remember airport code, which is ATL, or Alpha Tango Lima, and they had over 110.5 million passengers in 2019. That's a lot of people, Catherine.
Yeah, it is. That is a lot.
And this airport was actually built on abandoned racetracks, which were owned by the founder of Coca-Cola. And one of the reasons that this airport is so busy is, of course, its location, because Atlanta is only about a 2-hour flight away from 80% of the US population.
Yeah, I've been to that airport. It's very, very big airport.
Now, another cool fact is that there's actually a river running underneath the airport. So not only was it the busiest airport in 2019, Atlanta International Airport actually has been the busiest in the world for 21 consecutive years. So that's a very long time. And the interesting fact is that there's a river that winds its way underneath the airport through tunnels and connects with a number of other rivers that eventually empty out into the Gulf of Mexico. A really cool fun fact is that there's a 5K running race that's held every year on one of their runways. And if you're a big fan of Starbucks, the airport actually has 6 of them. Now, Catherine, running on a runway, is that something you can only do in Atlanta?
No, we do it here at Toronto Pearson as well. And we did it for almost we did it like over 10 years, and but we hopefully will get that up and running again in next year. But yeah, you could do a 5K walk. We closed down one of our runways. You can do a 5K run or a 3K, and it's a lot of fun. So this is great. You know, this is great information, Case. Thank you. But I mean, I think we have a favorite airport, don't we?
There is one airport that's just really anchored in all of our hearts, Catherine, and I hope in all of our explorers' hearts too. And that's, of course, Toronto Pearson International Airport. And everyone should know that special airport code by heart now, which is, of course, Yankee Yankee Zulu. And Toronto Pearson is Canada's largest and busiest airport. And we actually saw 27 numbers, Catherine. I've seen too many of them today. 4 million passengers passing through Toronto Pearson in 2019. And the airport also handles over 312,000 tons of air cargo every year.
That's a lot. And yeah, that's a lot. We are a very, very big airport.
Now, what's so special about us, Catherine, is we don't usually like to brag, but some things just need to be acknowledged. So if you're looking at all those airports, Toronto Pearson is definitely our favorite place to explore, and here's a few reasons why. So we're the biggest airport in Canada, measuring 19 square kilometers of space, and that's 14 times bigger than Canada's Wonderland. We've got, of course, 5 runways, 2 terminals, and 2 really cool control towers. We have 3 fire stations that help us keep the airport safe. We have, of course, 1 million really motivated bees that work at the airport, and we never close, so we're open 24/7. Now, if our explorers want to learn more, definitely check out the 10 cool facts about Toronto Pearson on our website.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you very much. And yes, I don't know if any of those other airports have 1 million bees that work there. Okay, Case, thank you. That was super interesting, and there's a lot of information to remember. So as Case was saying earlier, we're recording this camp, and if you want to watch it again, it'll be on our website tomorrow. And I hope our explorers were paying attention, because I think we're going to go and play some trivia. So Case and Ruba, are you guys ready to play a little trivia?
Always.
Yeah. So, Airport Explorers, let's see what you remembered from the presentation Catherine and Hayes just gave you. Do you remember the clues that were given? Let's see if you can remember the answers. Now, we are going to ask just 10 questions. Please answer these questions in your head. There's nothing for you to type. Don't worry about it. You just have to remember the answers. Or you can challenge your brothers or sisters or friends or parents who are with you to see who can get the most questions right. This trivia is just for fun, so you don't need to email or send us any of your answers. Now, seeing how I got 10 out of 10 in the last camp, I got it all right, I thought it would be fun to see if my friend Hayes actually could help us answer the questions. So Hayes, are you ready?
The pressure's on, Ruba, but yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. So let's see.
Let's see if you're going to get 10 out of 10. So, Hayes, question number 1. What airport is built in the image of an octopus? Is it the Hong Kong International Airport? Is it the Charles de Gaulle Airport? Is it Toronto Pearson? Or is it the Los Angeles Airport?
So, Ruba, we're more fond of bees at Toronto Pearson than we are of octopus. So I think it's definitely not Toronto Pearson Airport. I want to say that it's probably, I remember that blue dancing octopus when we were talking about France. So I'm gonna go with number 2, Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris.
Let's see if you're right. And oh my God, you're right. So yes, you are right. It's the Charles de Gaulle Airport, but also the Charles de Gaulle Airport has 3 terminals. It is actually one of the busiest airports in Europe, and it is the main hub for Air France. You can see some of their planes there. All right, now question number 2. It's all about the animals today. What airport has a terminal shaped like a seagull? That should be interesting. Is it the Shanghai Pudong Airport? Is it the Beijing International Airport? Is it the Dubai International Airport? Or could it be the London Heathrow Airport?
Ruba, I definitely think there's a lot of seagulls around London.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
at
seen.
least remember there being a ton there.
Yeah.
But I don't remember London Heathrow having a terminal shaped like a seagull. I think that was more of a thing at Shanghai Pudong Airport, right?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So the answer is the Shanghai Pudong International Airport. I'm afraid you have 2 out of 2 so far, so you're actually doing good. Good for you.
I'm coming for that, Ruba.
Well, we still have 8 questions, so we'll see. As one of the busiest airports in China, the Shanghai Pudong Airport actually has 4 runways and 2 terminals, and I bet you it looks fabulous from above, from the air, as in the shape of a seagull. All right. Now, question number 3. I love shopping, so I'm pretty sure this one is easy, but we'll see. Which airport has the biggest duty-free store in the world? Your options are number 1, Toronto Pearson International Airport, or the Chicago O'Hare International Airport, or it could be the Dubai International Airport, and option number 4 would be the Hong Kong International Airport. Think, yes.
Well, Ruba, I'm not that big of a shopaholic, but I do like some good duty-free deals. I would love to say number 1, Toronto Pearson, but I actually have a friend, Ruba, who speaks a bit of Arabic, and actually whispered in my ear that on that sign over there, it actually says Dubai International Airport.
Well, you probably are correct. Your friend can read Arabic. So the answer is, it is in fact Dubai International Airport. And I would say the airport is so big. Have you been to it?
I haven't, but it's definitely on my list. With all those cool amenities that they have there, Ruba, I would love to check that airport out.
It's so big you can easily get lost there, and it is as big as 297 football fields, and there is an entire terminal dedicated to the Emirates Airlines, the A380 airplane specifically. Now, question number 4. This is going to be hard, so get ready. Yeah. All right, this one is hard. What airport is nicknamed Starfish for its shape? Is it the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport? Is it the Dubai International Airport? Is it the Charles de Gaulle Airport in France? Or could it be the Beijing Capital International Airport? So which one is nicknamed the Starfish?
Ruba, right now I just feel like I should have opened a box of animal crackers and taken some notes at this point because of all of these animal shapes.
Yeah.
I definitely know it's not the France airport because that was an octopus, right?
I think so. And there was a seagull somewhere.
There was a seagull somewhere too.
Options, yeah.
But I think for the Starfish, I think I want to go with the 4th option, with Beijing Capital International Airport.
Well, let's see if you got 4 out of 4. And you actually did get 4 out of 4. It is the Beijing Capital International Airport. And it also features a terminal that is the size of 97 soccer fields. And it has an indoor garden that resembles the Imperial Gardens in China. Gorgeous.
I'm already out of breath just thinking about 97 soccer fields, Ruba. I don't know about you.
No, I mean, that's a lot of walking, but I really would like to make it to that airport. Now, question number 5. What airport has an observation deck that looks like a flying saucer? Wow. Which one? Is it number 1, the Los Angeles International Airport? Could it be number 2, Toronto Pearson Airport? Perhaps number 3, the Hong Kong International Airport? Or, I mean, I'm going to make this easy for you. It's not the CN Tower. It's not number 4. So you have 3 options. See, I'm doing you a solid, my friend. Which airport has that flying saucer observation deck?
I really appreciate it, Ruba, because I was just, I couldn't see any giraffes, so I was really confused. But when I think about a flying saucer, I think about things that are out of this world. And then I remember that our current CEO, Deborah Flint, is also out of this world. And I think she came from Los Angeles International Airport. So I want to go with number 1.
That's an interesting choice. Let's see. You are absolutely correct. It is the Los Angeles International Airport. It is, in fact, the most iconic symbol of that airport, LAX. The mid-century modern structure resembles the flying saucer, and it's a famous example of a Guji architecture. It's a type of futuristic architecture influenced by car culture, jets, the space age, and the atomic age, and it dates all the way back from the 1930s.
Oh, Ruba, you just know that I go goo goo gaga for some good googie architecture.
Yeah, I'm same. All right, this one, you know what? I think, you know what, Hayes, the truth of the matter is we knew you were taking the questions, so we made sure they were easy. So, question number 6, can you name Canada's largest airport? There's a picture here, could be a good hint. Is it number 1? Is it the Vancouver International Airport? No, it's not. Is it the Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport? Don't say that. Is it the Toronto Pearson International Airport? Or, probably not, but could it be, but most definitely not, the Calgary International Airport?
Is there a 5th option, Ruba?
The 5th option is the right option. So
I could have sworn it was Moncton Airport, but no. No, let's go with number 3, Toronto Pearson International Airport. Fairly certain about that one.
Good confidence there. Good confidence. Toronto Pearson International Airport is actually our home, and it is home to 1 million bees, and we call them the YYBs. And the apiary is situated along the trail near the Etobicoke Creek. And that's for all of us. Yeah.
One might say that Toronto Pearson is just buzzing with activity.
All the time, man. All the time. Yeah. And for question number 7, doing very well here. What airport was built on an abandoned racetrack? Your options are number 1, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Is it the Beijing Capital International Airport? Is it the Tokyo Haneda Airport? Or could it be Toronto Pearson Airport?
I actually remember this one, and I think there's a big clue for our airport explorers if they have a close look at that picture on the right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really certain it's number 1. It's Atlanta International Airport.
And I think you have 7 out of 7, good sir. It is, you are right, the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Explorers, this airport is so busy. It has been the busiest in the world for 21 consecutive years. And the airport has the world's 3rd tallest air traffic control tower.
And Ruba, did you know they actually have their own subway system that connects those 5 terminals? So it's definitely an airport worth visiting too.
Wow. Wow. Massive, for sure. Now we have 3 more questions. What airport can you rent a mini robot dressed in a pilot's uniform called Robohan? Is it the Dubai International Airport? Is it the Charles de Gaulle Airport? Or is it the Shanghai Pudong International Airport? Or is it the Tokyo Haneda Airport?
Well, Ruba, when I think of futuristic robots, my brain goes automatically to Japan, so it has to be Tokyo Haneda Airport.
You're right. It is the Tokyo Haneda Airport, and it this airport has 3 terminals, 4 runways, and an underground walkway. So right, the Atlanta one had a subway system. This one has an underground walkway, and their terminal 1 is also called Big Bird. You know, keeping with our animal theme. Oh, yum! Way past lunch. What airport is the largest seller of hot dogs in the USA? Could it be the Toronto Pearson International Airport? Is it the O'Hare International Airport in Chicago? Could it be the London Heathrow Airport? Or could it be the Hong Kong International Airport?
Ruba, I don't think it's Toronto Pearson because as we saw in our last camp, the best street meat or hot dogs you can find are definitely in downtown Toronto around the Blue Jay Stadium, right?
100%,
so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the O'Hare International Airport.
And you are 100% correct. The O'Hare Airport code is ORD. Do you know how we spell that in the alphabet?
October Romeo Delta.
Yes, and it's super easy to get to O'Hare from downtown Chicago. Now, for the last question, if you get this, it is 10 out of 10. And you would, equal my record, which would be fine because we're friends. Anyway, what airport has a golf course just outside of Terminal 2? Could it be Hong Kong? Could it be the Tokyo Haneda Airport? Could it be the Beijing Capital International Airport? Or could it be the O'Hare International Airport in Chicago?
Well, Ruba, I think it's very nice of you that you want to share that trophy with me because are you ready? I am 100% sure it is number 1, Hong Kong International Airport.
It is. And it's 10 out of 10 for Hayes. It breaks my heart, but I'm a good friend, so super happy for you. Great job, buddy. The Hong Kong, airport, it was their terminal building project was one of the largest in the world. It was even featured in Discovery Channel's 10 greatest modern projects in the world. It was that amazing. And it was designed by the famous architect Norman Foster. So Catherine, I'm happy and sad to report that Hayes got all 10 answers right.
Well, you guys are just both super smart, and I'm sure our explorers are too. And that was a lot of fun. But you know what? I'm just looking at our time, and we got about 10 minutes left. So I want to make sure that we can get through some of the questions that our explorers sent in last week. So I'm going to test you a little bit more. So Hayes and Ruba, do you want to answer these questions?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we've had some of the questions from the explorers, Hayes, and these are going to be harder. Question number 1, it says, do I still need a paper boarding pass?
Good question, Ruba, and of course our explorers. So most airlines these days will actually give you the option of either doing a paper boarding pass or have one on your smartphone, for instance, or you could do both if you're like me and you're a total control freak. But it really all depends on what your preference is there. So are you going to be able to get that paper out at the right time for like the security checkpoint? Are you going to make sure that your phone has enough of a charge to make sure that it doesn't die on you when that's the only boarding pass you have? So it really all depends on you as a person and what your preference is.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Now, what is the difference between checked and carry-on baggage?
Well, Ruba, like you can see on that cool illustration on the bottom left there. So your baggage are really the things that you've brought with you from home, like your suitcases or your backpacks. And if you've got large items or a lot of baggage, you'll need to check those in. And those actually go into the airplane's cargo hold, into the belly of the aircraft. Now, carry-on are smaller bags that you're actually allowed to take onto the plane with you, like a smaller backpack, for instance.
Thank you. That was very useful information. And one last question. Should I choose a window seat or an aisle seat? That's very important.
Well, Rua, this question has really sparked a lot of debate in the past, and airport explorers, just think about which part of the plane is most comfortable to you, and of course, how frequently do you have to pee is the big question here. So if you're looking to enjoy the view, then definitely go for that window seat. I know that's definitely what our friend Russ does. Or if you'd rather be free and get up and stretch a lot of the times, or if you have to go pee a lot, then that aisle seat is definitely a better idea. Now, if you prefer to sit near the front or the back of the plane, just let the staff know when you're checking in to see if they can find that perfect special seat for you.
Those are great questions. Thank you, explorers. I myself, I like the aisle seat because I like the extra leg room. But yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks for sending those in, explorers. And remember, if you have any more questions for us, make sure you send them in to us at our website. We'll put that on later, and then we'll answer them at our next camp. So before we go on to my favorite part of the show, which is the activity time, I want to thank some of our explorers for sending their work in to us last week. We received so many great submissions, and you can see all the great work that our explorers have put into their assignments. So I want to specifically thank Noah and Laura and Emma, Shahaba, Julie, Livia, Alejandro, Chloe, and Tiffany. Look at this great work. What do you think, Yace and Ruba? Isn't that brilliant?
It just brings so much joy to me, Catherine, to see all of this fantastic work by our airport explorers.
Yeah, no, thanks. And then again, explorers will not only give you a shout out here on the camp, but we'll also make sure that it's uploaded on your website so you can show your friends all the great work you've done. Okay, so now on to my favorite part. Ruba, what do you have in store for our explorers this week for their final assignment?
Oh, Catherine, I think we have left the best assignment to last. This is a great thing. We are going to design our dream airport. So if you're looking for this activity, it can be found on our website under the section called Imagine That. Today, we learned a lot about many different airports. We learned that different airports use different designs. So your activity today is to design your dream airport. Now, things to remember and think about when designing your airport. One would be the shape of the airport and the terminals, the size that you'd like the airport to be, and the number of gates for aircrafts to load and unload passengers. Now, to stand out, what other fun things should your airport include? Think about that. How about, for instance, runways? How many runways do you want to include in your design? Does it include a control tower? Or maybe it's like Toronto Pearson, it has 2. Does the airport have a fire station on the property? Do you remember how many we have at Toronto Pearson? We have 3. And does your airport have parking for a helicopter called a helipad? So think about all the creative things you can add. Now you can choose one of the airport designs we talked about, or you can, of course, create your own. You can create the design for your airport by drawing it on a paper or using a shoebox to make it a 3D diorama. Now, dioramas are models that have been created to replicate a scene in 3D or 3-dimensional. Just like this picture on the right, using a shoebox and some stones to make it 3-dimensional. Now, here is an example of a terminal building built by our own airport explorer, Tristan. Tristan, oh my God, we loved it when you sent in pictures of your airport design. Tristan has built a terminal building and airplanes from cracker boxes and paper. Fantastic job, Tristan, really.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Catherine, since I have you here,
yes,
what would your dream airport include?
Oh my gosh. I love that starfish design. So I think mine would be starfish shape, and it would have lots of gardens, and I really would maybe put in the sleeping pods. I like the sleeping pods. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
That'd be really cool.
I like that too.
Oh gosh. So explorers, thank you. That's our camp for today. And thanks for joining us as we explored about all the different airports around the world. Now, Remember to send in us, when you finish your assignment, send in a picture of your work to traffic control at Airport Explorer. And if you send in all of the assignments from or for camp starting in January, your name will be put in for a draw for a Chromebook. So you'll have until June 30th to do that. We'll be doing the draw on July 9th. So in the meantime, we are going to take a month off. We'll see you in July. And we really enjoy meeting with you. It's my favorite part of the week. What about you, Ruba and Hayes? Do you like meeting our explorers every once a month?
I love meeting our explorers, Catherine. It's such a nice break from sitting in front of the computer and doing regular officey stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, explorers. So make sure you check out our website later on in July or at the end of June, and we'll have the next dates up, and we'll be starting them actually at 11 o'clock in the middle of the day. So you can watch the Explorer Club as you have your snack, your morning snack, or your lunch. So in the meantime, this is Catherine signing off. Over and out.
Roger that, Catherine. This is Case. Over and out, explorers.
Explorers, this is Ruba. We'll see you in July. Over and out.